There's something beautiful about waking up in the morning and just watching the sun melt away the fog, and that's what I wanted to try to capture with day 25 on our 30-day music writing challenge. And so the title of this one is The Morning Sun Melts the Fog. Now clearly I can see. And hope you enjoy it. So, one of my favorite things, or I guess like one of my newly found favorite things is getting up early in the morning where I live currently, and the sun rises just to the right of our front porch. And I love because it gets really foggy out here where I live. We live in some lower area, as I've mentioned before, or I guess some open areas, some very field like area. And it gets very foggy out here. Very foggy, like right after storms come in, the humidity mixing with the rain and the condensation just gets super foggy. And I love watching the low setting fog sweep across some of these fields as the sun comes up and just watching it kind of melt to reveal, like you literally can't see right in front of you, then you just kind of watch it melt down and dissipate and trickles out. And you just begin to like the whole picture just comes into view. Another good analogy of this that may fit the theme of this album a bit better is if you've ever been to the Smoky Mountains, the fog is just so thick you can't see your hand in front of your face, literally, like it's that thick. And then as the sun comes up over the mountain ridges, the smoke begins to settle, the fog begins to settle, and it just kind of fills the valleys and just dissipates, and everything, the mountains from the top down just come into view, and it's absolutely awe-inspiring. It is just beyond beautiful, and I love it so much. And so that is really what I wanted to try to capture. That I wanted this to be kind of a transitional, like we've been through this forest, and I don't know if you remember this or not, but some of the title tracks have kind of alluded to a mountainous forest range. It's not just flat forest; it's mountainy, hilly forest. Very, I don't know. My brain almost comes to like the Shire from Lord of the Rings kind of feel to it. And I really wanted this track to be okay. Last track was waking up, or I guess not waking up. It was going to sleep, watching the stars beat through as the fire kind of slowly dimmed out, and like watching the stars beat down through the canopies of the trees. Well, I wanted this track to be like waking up the next day, realizing that where you settled in, you're on the precipice of like these valleys, and you're just watching the sun melt the fog, and giving that awe inspiring of not only can you see what direction you want to head, um, and I guess maybe a little bit of a spoiler alert, I want there to be like a town in the distance and maybe in one of these valleys or what have you. So not only can you see the direction you're trying to head, but just the beauty of the whole thing just captures you. So that's where really what I'm trying to go for on day 25. So let's go ahead and take a listen. track 25, The Morning Sun Melts the Fog. Now clearly I can see. And I wanted to try to use a lot of mountainy or kind of folk sounding instruments, a lot of hammered dulcimer in this. Very simple as far as the progression. I just wanted it to feel very organic, um, very just mellow and calm, and almost like you're just sitting there drinking your morning cup of coffee as you watch the sunrise. And that was what I was going for, and I really, really enjoy this track. This is one of those tracks that whenever I listen to it, I can honestly just get caught up in it and close my eyes and forget that this is even something I wrote, which if I can do that, I feel like that's the sign of success. I'm not constantly critiquing, not constantly nitpicking every little thing. If I can just listen to it without my own creative biases in the way, because that's my biggest thing is like, that's how I tested this album, which, mind you, I haven't had the time. I haven't had the resource, or I guess the time, the energy. Trying to do 30 of these a song every day is intense. I have stayed up hours and hours. Every one of these takes at least, you know, probably close to 5 hours a piece on average of each of my day to try to get these tracks going. And so there's a million things I could critique because I just don't have the time or the bandwidth with this challenge to try to pump all of that into these. Um, but that being said, I'm super proud of how it comes out for just such a short amount of time being able to be invested. And I was outside watering the garden the other day and literally kind of got lost in this one. And I was just like, oh man, I was just watering the plants. I was mellow and it just calmed my soul. And somewhere in the process, I kind of had like this click back to reality. I was like, wait a second, I wrote this. This is something that I created. And I forgot that while listening. And if I can do that, then I know that this is something that I can be proud of. So I'm super excited about this one. And with that being said, I would love it if you would subscribe to this YouTube channel, let your friends know, let your mom know, let your dog listen. And if you haven't found me on all the other social medias I'm on, mostly TikTok, go find me over there. And let me know what you think about this track in the comments. I'll see you tomorrow as we continue our journey forward on day 26.